Alright, and welcome back to AZW, Acid Head Zenith of Pro Wrestling. Coming to you this fine autumn day, and we have got a rematch between Frankie and Mr. Generic Puro, or Puro Wrestle, for the European title. Now, last time these two fought each other, this is Mr. Generic Puro number 4. It is a group of 4 different wrestlers, all going by the same name. And as I brought up in that well, let me finish the first thing I was saying. The last time they fought each other, Mr. Generic Puro number 4 took the title off of Frankie. A lot of people consider that to be kind of an upset. Mr. Generic Puro number 4 wants to prove it was not an upset, and Frankie, of course, wants to take back his title. Ooh, nasty uppercut. The dragonfish uppercut. Forearm to the side of the head. Now, of course, you're going to see a lot of the strong style Japanese wrestling between these two. Especially Frankie. That's his preference, is just wail away on people. And having said that, there he goes with the sleeper hold. He knew I was going to say that, so he did something just to throw me off my game. Bastard. Nah, he's a cool dude. But, these two, they're both kind of, their style is Japanese, definitely, and the 4 generic Puro guys, you know, Japanese is Puro Wrestle, or something similar to that pronunciation. Puro Wrestle. Something like that. And the 4 guys, they're kind of a satire of American Japanese wrestling cliches. You know, they don't have their own real names. They just go by Mr. Generic Puro, and that's really just kind of their shtick, their gimmick, is just kind of making fun of American Japanese wrestler cliches, but at the same time they are traditionalists when it comes to how they like to do things and present themselves, even if it is a bit of a satire. Frankie, on the other hand, has pretty much embraced the combination of American and Japanese pro wrestling, kind of in the vein of, I'm trying to think of somebody here. Maybe Tajiri. One of the guys that's been around a few different places here. Done a lot to train up some up-and-coming wrestlers these days. Especially some of the top names and up-and-coming names of the lightweight division of several promotions, I believe. At least one guy that I can think of, off the top of my head, Kushida, I believe, was trained by Tajiri. Anyway, these drop kick denied. The Mr. Generic Puro group, they don't like Frankie because he's a bit too free, a bit too loose and free. Not much of a traditionalist. You see the tattoos, that's kind of a no-no in Japan. But, of course, Frankie is not from Japan. He is American. He has a great fondness for Japanese pro wrestling. That's what got him interested in our fine sport, and he's adopted that style. So, again, that's kind of a clash between the two. You know, the group and Frankie is that he's not actually Japanese, but he kind of affects a Japanese persona at times, but a thoroughly Americanized version of it. Whereas the Mr. Generic Puro group are Japanese wrestlers who are here in the States, kind of poking fun at, as I said, American Japanese wrestler cliches. And I haven't done much to call the match. These two have just been kind of beating the hell out of each other. That was to be expected, as they both use kind of the strong style. And Frankie has got him up. I'm expecting a brainbuster here. And brainbuster! I'm not being racist. That's how they say it. Ooh, driving DDT. Brainbuster followed by a driving DDT. That was an ill-advised taunt. Not a good idea to taunt somebody who's in control. Choke slam. I think that's like the second choke slam of the match. Shoulder blocks, a slingshot shoulder block. Frankie is firmly in control, just took a low blow, but didn't stop him. Over the arm slam there, a throw, and he got the 3 count off of a judo throw, I believe that was. Well, just as kind of, unpredictable and out of nowhere when Frankie lost the title, he's just taken it back in a similar fashion. Although I have to say that Brainbuster DDT combo certainly had a lot to do with that victory. So, there you have it, folks. Frankie has reclaimed his title. So, the European title scene as it stands right now, folks, is that we have got the European tournament match going on. Let me look at my notes here. And so far we've had Wiz taking on Tyrone Magnus. Wiz won that match, took 2 points. We've also had the Nostalgia Critic taking on AVGN, the Angry Video Game Nerd. That match will be coming up. And coming up pretty soon, folks, we have our Nefarious in November show, which will feature Roughhouse Jolly taking on Wraith in a match for the European tournament. And this is a round-robin tournament, which is a style where everybody in the bracket, the tournament, faces each other one time. The winner takes 2 points, the loser gets none. We really don't allow for ties or, if there was a double count out, somebody, they would get 1 point each, but that doesn't happen very often here, folks. Also in the tournament scene is Boomstick. We haven't seen him in a match yet, but he'll be coming up eventually. I know he's in here somewhere. I think we might have a match with him scheduled. I believe, yes, Wiz and Boomstick are going to be in a match against each other coming up here pretty soon. And then, of course, in the Nefarious in November show, as I said, we're going to have Roughhouse Jolly and Wraith making their YouTube show debuts. And next up is going to be the Angry Video Game Nerd taking on the Nostalgia Critic in their debut here at AZW. Very well known to YouTube audiences, but they have decided to make their foray into the world of electronic video pro wrestling E-Federation action, because I decided they were going to and put them on the roster. And that is the European title scene as of now. I would not be a bit surprised to see another one of the Mr. Generic Puros take on Frankie here before too long. They tend to try and take him on. But his next challenger before that may or may not happen. We'll have to see what the powers that be have decided. Rory Fakestone is going to be the next challenger. He was the number 1 contender before Frankie lost that title. So now that Frankie has gotten his, quick rematch and reclaimed the title, Rory Fakestone is up next for a title shot, and I believe we have that scheduled again for Nefarious in November. So stay tuned, folks. We have lots of pro wrestling action coming to you, E-Federation pro wrestling action coming to you. So stay tuned, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.